Hey everyone, so I'm back with another review. In my first review, I showed you about the Jaybird Vista earbuds. And so Pixel has come out with their Pixel Buds 2. And I figured we were trying them for work, so I thought I would do a review for them for my YouTube. Price is approximately right now, as of the taping, $239 Canadian. They can be purchased on the Google Store. And I think it comes in 3 different colors. The black ones, the white ones, and I think there's like a green. I don't know if it's wasabi, same thing as the Stadia controllers or something like that, but it's kind of like a greenish color. When commenting about the colors, the whites really stand out in your ears. Just for an example, if I put one of these in my ear, you can really see it in my ear, and it really shows up. The black ones don't show up as bad. So again, just an example using the Jaybirds. If I put that in there, it just looks less conspicuous, or more conspicuous. It just doesn't look as bad. So as much as I prefer the white, because I like the clean, crisp color of white, I don't know if the white is the perfect choice when it comes to colors, but to each person. The only reason I bought these is because my snowboard helmet is white, everything is white. And to be completely honest, when I'm snowboarding, you're not going to see these. And this is my prime use for these. The primary use for these is when I'm snowboarding or when I'm out riding my electric bike. So it's one of these things that I like them. Color's great, but again, to each their own for the color, but I just figured I'd give you my opinion about the colors. Nice little box that they come in. All your cables, everything come with it. It is a USB-C cable that comes with it. There is no charger for it, but the cable does come with it, but you could plug that into any wall wart that you have to plug that into the wall. And then you have a USB-C on this end. So standard Pixel USB-C connector. It also comes with some ear tips. So there's a nice little case here to keep them clean. So you can take out the tip that fits best for your ear. They're small, medium, large. I had a hard time trying to find the one that fits. Again, I'm used to the Jaybird Vista and how it fits in my ear. So I had a little bit of trouble getting used to the Google Pixel Buds. But so my take on these. I will be returning these. I am not happy with the Pixel Buds. I feel like they have a whole bunch of pros, but the cons for me seem to basically be I like my Jaybird Vistas better. I was going to get rid of my Jaybird Vistas if I like the Pixel Buds better, because we were trying them out for work. I just don't feel like they're the right fit for me. So I'm going to go through some of those things, but that's just my opinion right now. It might change in the future. There's some things that I really love about them that I wish the Jaybird Vistas have, but yeah, it's just not gonna. These just aren't gonna to stay with me. So one of the things was the price. The price with taxes in, I'm just looking here, was $270. So almost $300 Canadian for a pair of headphones. Now, if I'm going to pay $300 for a pair of headphones, they need to sound amazing and they need to make me happy. Just because you're spending that money. I have a pair of MPOW headphones that I wear when I'm doing my office work and stuff like that. These things cost me, I think they were $40 Canadian from Amazon. Maybe it's $45. The sound quality of these are amazing for $45. So when I'm purchasing $300 headphones, I want to make sure that these things are the right fit for me. So price is a little high. Now, with that said, I can understand the pricing from Google's perspective. There's a lot of features in these earbuds, I guess you call them, that some other manufacturers just don't have on theirs. So one of the cool things that I found is, I'm just going to take one of these headphones out, is that the shape and the looks of these, they look like a little Mentos. Not super happy with them, but this entire front of it is actually touch sensitive, so you can just touch it and push it, swipe back and forth to pause, turn the volume up, turn the volume down, answer a phone call. So I really, really love that feature. That's one feature I'm going to miss by getting rid of these, is the fact that you can just swipe these up or down. There's no need to push on your ear. The Jaybird Vistas do have some features, but these are buttons. So the problem is you got these things jammed in your ear, and then you have to push the button in, and it does cause a little bit of discomfort as it pushes air into your ear. So it just creates a little bit of pressure. Not the end of the world, but these are very easy to adjust volume, that type of thing. So that's one pro for them. Really enjoy them. In the case here, you can see there's two LED lights. The LED light on the bottom is white, which means that the case has lots of battery. And then the orange light on the top means that it's charging one of my earbuds. It doesn't mean it's charging both. It's hard to tell which one is charging if a charge is still needed, but that's really nice. The case. So this is like a little, I don't even know how to explain it, like a little round orb is the best way to put it. I like this case, but I hate it at the same time. I have dropped this case about 10 times off of my night table stand just because it's so slippery. I don't know why there's such a need to make this so slippery. Having a little bit of texture to it might have helped not drop it. And the other thing I find is every time I drop this thing, both my earbuds fall out and go flying. So the magnet in them, obviously, like they're not designed to be dropped and keep them inside, but there's such a spring on this that if you just give it a little bit of jar, that goes open and your headphones go flying. So seems perfectly fine if you're in your bedroom or something like that. You can find them again, but if you were biking and you drop them out of your pocket, or you're walking and you drop them, they could go somewhere where you wouldn't be able to get them back. So it is one of these things that I like the look and feel of this case, but I'm not a fan of it just because I've dropped it so many times and it's just too easy to drop. So one opinion there. Again, if we look back at the Jaybird Vistas, their case is smooth, but it does have just a little bit of texture to it. Compared to this one just feels like there's baby powder on it more than this one. It might just be because these ones I've worn in a little bit better. The other thing is these ones have a lanyard in them, so you could actually put them on your keys. You can secure them a little bit better, whereas the case on these ones, there's no lanyard for it. That's the USB-C port, charging port on the bottom. So it is nice that when you're charging it on its side that you could do that. So what else to say about that? There's a little reset. It looks like a USB-C port at the back. It's a little reset button on the back there. Don't know if the camera will focus on it, but again, I'm just trying to show you everything about these things, just because I don't feel like most people's reviews go in depth that I go in depth on these things. So I just like giving an in-depth review, like very deep, the questions that most people don't ask. Inside the case, there's 3 little prongs in each side, and on the back of each one of the headphones, there is a 3 dots. They do go in very easy, so when you drop them in, they find their spot very easy. There is no way to really drop them in the wrong way. They can obviously go on the other side, but when you drop them in there, they find their home. I've had some issues with the Jaybird Vistas that when you put them in, they'll half get in their spot, or they partially will. And it's not a huge deal, but it is just kind of nice that when something finds its home every single time. And the Pixel buds were, the case was engineered really good by Pixel. So yeah, the earbuds themselves have like little wings on them. So when you put them in your ear, I'll show you again what they look like. They're kind of held there as pressure, but the fit is a lot different than the Jaybird Vistas. It took me a long time to get used to these. So if I take the Jaybird Vista for this ear and I put it in place, that little tang up here keeps it in place. And basically what this is doing is, if you take my ear canal as this, so where does it go here? it feels like it's sitting on the top of my ear canal. It's not shoving itself inside of it. It's just kind of like just sitting on the top of it. So I really like the way the Jaybird Vistas sit on my ear because they feel more comfortable. I don't feel like I've got something jammed inside my ear. So with that as an example, taking them in and out of my ear, there's a nice big chunk here. So when I put these in my ear, they go in really easy. They do stick out further, but I can take them in and out extremely easy. If I take the Google Pixel Buds and I put them in, I have to twist them. So I don't know if you can see, get this in the camera better. That's where it is, and then I have to twist them, and that little arm is sticking back here, and it helps keep the thing pushed into my ear. So that little rubber gasket that's on the end, these things here, they basically stick into your ear canal, which helps a little bit with noise cancellation, but it also puts a little bit of pressure in my eardrum. So I know some people don't like that pressure feeling. I'm not a fan of it. It's still comfortable. Like, I don't feel like it's super uncomfortable, to be completely honest, but it is something that it's different. It took me a while to get used to the fact that I tried to just kind of set these in like that and they felt like they were going to fall out. Whereas I didn't realize you had to really reef them in there. So you're basically like twisting them, corkscrewing them into your ear, which is not horrible, but it is just a different feel. And then as you can see the depth of these things, once you get these in your ear and in place, the only place you can grab onto them is your thumb can kind of fit under them here, and you can pull it out like that. So it is something that just right now, trying to get them into place, I find they don't find their home in my ear extremely easy. Every time I put these in, I feel like I have to constantly like play with them until I get them in the right spot. And as soon as they're in the right spot, they go in nice and easy. So it's one thing that I am not a fan of the way these fit in my ear. They fit comfortably and they don't fall out once they're in the right place, but I find I adjust them all the time. So I might be in the middle of a phone call and I have to grab them and readjust them. So, nope, there's my cat back there. He's playing in his new house I built him. Haven't put carpet on it yet, but eventually that's going to be his new house in the office here. So yeah, it's just, it's hard to get them to fit perfectly every time. Like right now I got them in and it feels like they're in, but they're not perfectly comfortable. So I have to play with it just now they're perfectly in the spot. So one of the other things about that is if you're in the middle of a phone call and you grab this, you start to hear all the noise that person, the other side hears, that noise that it makes, because you're grabbing it and you're touching it and feeling. So the microphone picks up on that, and the other end just hears nothing but scratchy, scratchy, scratch noise, which, sure, I should have my earphones in and comfortable before I answer a call. Sometimes I use them in a meeting now that I'm working from my home office a lot. So one of the things I can find is that they can get uncomfortable after half an hour if they're not sitting in the right place. So you really got to get them in the right place. If not, in the middle of a phone call, someone's going to hear that scratchingness. It'd be nice if it could detect your hand was near it. Some sort of, if we want to call it, presence sensor on the outside. So when your hand was near it, it would mute the microphone on that side. That would be a smart idea. It has presence sensors for in your ear. So when you take them in and out of your ear, it knows when they're in and out of your ear, and they can turn themselves, or basically press pause and push play. So it's not the end of the world, but the feel is really strange. That's the only way I can explain it. It's not the end. I'm not super upset about it, but it is one of those things that I wish they were a little bit easier to put in my ear. Now, the other thing is the clearance of them. Because they're so thin, they're hard to get access to. And we talked about that, but the other benefit of that is when I'm wearing something, sometimes when I'm snowboarding, I have my goggles on, And my goggles go over top of my ears sometime, or just the top of the ears. So with that being flat and my hat being over top of my ears, it doesn't push in on them. So it doesn't push in on my earlobes, which I like. So the form factor of being completely flush with my ear, I like it a little bit better. I do use these when I go to sleep. One of the things that I like to do is listen to music or a YouTube video while I'm going to sleep while watching my Pixel phone. So I'll have my Pixel phone so that the light's not disturbing anyone else. And basically I'll put my earphone in, and normally I would have it in the ear that's not on the pillow, because if I'm putting pressure on that ear, it would really push it into my ear, and it's uncomfortable. With these ones, I can wear both of them because when I'm laying on the bed, it doesn't push it into my ear. So I really do enjoy the low profileness of it when wearing something over top of my head like my hat, or when I'm laying down. It's a really great thing. So the low profileness of not being able to grab it at your ear really sucks, but to the same extent, I like the low profileness. One of the things I really liked about this, we tested this on a couple of Google Meets. I've also tested it while biking, is the microphone on these things are amazing. So when I'm riding my bike, I can basically say the key G word. I'm not going to say it. I'll say okay G, and these headphones immediately pick it up, and I can hear just a little electronic sound in my ear, like dong, and basically that tells me that it's listening. I can then ask a question, and the voice is at a reasonable level that you can hear it, but not so loud that it hurts your ears. So I really like the microphone on this one. In a Google Meet, it sounds nice and clear. It doesn't sound like, if I have the Jaybird Vistas in, we tested with these ones, it ends up picking up the echo from the walls more than it picks up your voice directly. So I find you get more of an echoey voice when using the Jaybird Vistas, but the Google Pixel Buds the audio's unsurpassed. Like the microphones just pick up your audio and it sounds crisp and clean. Because when I'm biking, I have my hat over top of my ears, there's not much wind noise. I didn't test it without the hat on to see if it cancels out the wind noise. So, but the other person was able to hear me very clearly. And yeah, they worked really, really great for that. One of the things that I like about the Jaybird Vistas that the Pixel Buds don't do is when you take them out and put them in your ear, there's a small little noise that they make when they've been paired. So the Jaybird Vistas will actually speak to you. There's a nice voice in the Jaybird Vista that it's like power on, pairing, and connected. So you actually hear the audio prompts, what's going on. With the Google Pixel, you just hear a little tiny chime, which is okay. It's not the end of the world, but it is hard to hear sometimes. And sometimes you miss it and you wonder if it's connected. And at that point in time, you're forced to basically look at your Bluetooth connection and see if they are connected. So again, it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice if they had, this is Google Assistant with voice translation and audio attendant on, not audio attendant, your assistant on there. There could have been the nice audio voice saying that it's connected, that type of thing. So I'm just surprised that Google didn't put something like that in there to let you know. From a perspective of battery, I find the batteries in these things suck. Compared to, again, I'm comparing them to my Jaybird Vistas. I feel I can get about 4 hours out of each earbud. And these ones I find I'm getting about 2 hours. Now that also might be because the slim profile, I can't imagine the size of the battery that's in here compared to the Jaybird Vista. If you look how thick, I'll just compare the two here together just so you can see them. So if you can compare the thickness of those things, you can kind of see how much more battery could possibly fit in the Jaybird compared to the Pixel Buds. So battery life is one thing that I'm kind of disappointed in. If I'm in a meeting and I only have one of them in, I find it can last about an hour 45 minutes to 2 hours and 15 minutes, depending on how much talking I'm doing. It seems like the microphone kills the battery a little bit, but the case does charge them up really quickly. The quick charge happens, I think within 10 minutes you can get about 45 minutes out of them or something like that. I don't know that statistic specifically, but I've dropped them in there for 5 minutes and have been able to complete a meeting. So love that they charge really quickly within the device. Anything that charges quickly, though, to me, makes me worried about the longevity of the batteries, because the faster you charge something, the hotter the battery will get. And therefore, the hotter the battery gets, the less life the battery is going to have. So batteries hate heat. So it would be really nice if there was a way to check whether or not, or choose whether or not you wanted to do fast charging or not. Because most of the time when I throw my headphones into these things, I'm perfectly fine with it taking 4 or 5 hours to charge my headphones. I wish those options were given to me so that I could extend the life of these. And while we're talking about batteries, the batteries inside of this seems to last. I can usually get about 2 or 3 charges out of my headphones when they're dead, and then the battery within this is dead. So this is another thing that I'm going to speak to that drives me nuts, that engineers just don't even think about. The jaybirds. So when the jaybirds are disconnected from audio, no audio has played for, I think it's about half an hour, they will automatically power themselves off. Some people might find that feature extremely annoying, because if you're just sitting at your desk and you're just busy for 20 minutes, repairing them takes 3 seconds. It's not the end of the world when they power themselves off. But the best part about them powering themselves off is they save the battery. I have, basically what I do when I fall asleep at night with one of these in my ear, I have a timer set on my my Android, and I have an application that will turn off the Bluetooth and will turn off the screen. So by turning off the Bluetooth and turning off the screen, it turns off my screen so it's not on all night, and B, it turns off the Bluetooth so that hopefully the Bluetooth device that's paired to it will see that there's no connection and turn itself off. Not these. Let's pretend I put both of these in my ears when I was at work and I forgot my case at work. I then biked home, realized that I forgot my case at work. These headphones that are in here, these earbuds, will not power off. Even though I disconnect them, there is no way to power these things off manually. So basically, these things run themselves dead, which I don't understand why Google engineers thought that that was a smart thing to do. At least expose the option in settings to let us choose whether we want to turn power off automatically. Let us choose whether it's like if we're disconnected for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, let us choose that. The fact that that's not exposed to users and the fact that there is no auto power off is the most annoying feature of these things. And it is part of the reason why I'm returning them. It is just a must in my opinion. The other reason I say that is when I go to sleep at night and I put one of them in my ear and I fall asleep, the Bluetooth turns off and the screen locks on my phone. And then I might take it out of my ear and just set it on top of my nightstand. If I do that in the morning time, that headphone is dead. You shouldn't have to put them inside of a case to turn them off. I get maybe there's a logistical reason or a programmable reason why you have to put them in the case to turn them off, but giving some sort of press and hold to power them off or something like that would be extremely useful. One of the other things that I've noticed is if the battery in this case is dead, it won't turn off your headphones. So if this case is dead, and I take an earbud out and I put it back into the case, there's not enough battery power to charge it. And there's also, for some reason, there's no logistical programming in there to say, turn off the earbud. So basically what happens is your earbuds drain. I've had issues where I've been downstairs sitting on my couch and I go to use my phone and it keeps connecting to these earbuds. and I could not for the life of me figure out why would it be connecting to these. They're inside the case and turned off. But what I realized was the case was drained and basically there's no battery in it. So when I put my earbuds back into it, it actually didn't shut them off. I was still connected to them. It was still playing Bluetooth with them. So again, Google engineers, I hope you can fix that with a firmware issue. That battery should at least, I understand that you can't drain a battery below a certain amount, but there should be enough battery in there to run the battery management system. And when a device connects to it, to be able to turn it off. So again, I'm not sure why the reasoning behind that, but again, just the most annoying feature in the world. I had that problem with the Skull Candy headphones that I have. One of my use cases for these devices is I will put one in my ear when I'm snowboarding. Because they only last for a short period of time, I'm out snowboarding for 8 to 12 hours some days. So as you can imagine, having both of them in at the same time, I drain them. It would take me a while to charge them up again and I'd have to take them back out. So there'd be times where I wouldn't have any music. So what I'd like to do is put one in because that A, lets me hear my music, but then it also lets me hear things around me. But then when that earbud dies, I will put it back in the case and I'll take the other one out and I'll put it in my ear. So Google does that great. It lets you use either one, the left or the right. There's not one that's the primary. Both of the microphone, both of the speakers, so you can put either one. So it does that great. But the problem I was having, and the same problem with the Skull Candies were, is that about halfway through my day, I might have drained the battery in this case for some reason. If I have two fully charged headphones, if I put one back in and I take the other one out, sometimes I'll notice that the other one was dead. And the reason is because when I put it back in the case, it didn't turn itself back off automatically. Or I'll go in for dinner and I might be gone for an hour. So I'll put both my headphones or one headphone back in here, but it didn't turn it off. So it's just a really annoying feature that when the battery is dead in this, or when it considers that it's so low it can't charge anymore, that there's not something within the system to turn it off. I don't understand why the Pixel Buds don't automatically, again, if they just turn themselves off after being disconnected from Bluetooth or no audio happens for 5 minutes, but it definitely is a downfall. Again, hope the engineers can fix that with a firmware update. So one of the other things that I was going to talk about, I'm just trying to look at my list here. We talked about the price, we talked about the fit, the fact that when the battery runs out, the pairing noise, USB connector. Next to that, I just feel like the price is just too much for what this is. If all you need is a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones, if the only thing you're looking for is the ability to stick two things in your ear, hear music, and charge them, these are way overpriced. Way overpriced. The sound is okay, but it's not great. Compared to my Jaybird Vistas, the Jaybird Vista, these are better. And the only reason why I'm saying that these ones might be better is because Jaybird Vistas come with an entire software suite to program these. I can change these based on the style of music I'm listening to. I can quickly on the fly change my bass really heavy, my bass really low if I'm listening to maybe some comedy, something that doesn't require bass. These seem to kind of only have a few features within the phone. I'll go into the settings here to show you some of the settings that the phone has for them, just so you can see. So I'm going to take them out. The pairing is extremely easy. That's one thing I will give them, that they pair really, really easy. But if I go into my Bluetooth settings, and I'm just trying to see here, and at the top, it's going to show you, I'm try and block my face to do this so it'll zoom in up on that. But it'll tell you the left is at 11% and the right is at 100%. So really cool program. And then off to the side here is a configure option. So if you click on configure, there we go. It's a little bit better of a view there. That shows you there's, just trying to get this to focus, sorry. It might not focus because it sees my face. But anyways, you can basically see some of the options there. It tells you the case level battery, or the level of the battery within the case, the left headphone and the right headphone. There's some tutorials. You can set up some Google Assistant stuff. Finding device. Finding device is kind of one of those things that's like the last time you paired it, your phone remembers where your phone was, not where your earbuds were. It's not the best thing in the world, but if I go into sound and the EQ, you have the ability to turn on bass boost, and experimental is a cool feature. Like if there's a baby crying, it will let that audio come through. Emergency vehicle siren. So if I'm riding my bike and I had both of them in, it would let me know that those things were happening. So there is some neat features in here, but they are extremely limited. It does have one cool feature, which is sharing detection. So sharing detection allows me to put one in my ear and my partner put one in their ear, or my friend, whoever might be snowboarding with me. When we're going up a chairlift, they can throw one in. So it lets you share the audio between two different people. Now, I'm not sure, and the reason why that's important, like normally you could share earbuds, there should be no difference. But the other thing it lets you do is independently adjust the volume per side. So I might want it really loud, but the other person I'm sharing it with might not want it that loud. So it lets you set individual levels for your each Pixel Bud. So it is a neat feature, but again, I just feel like for the price, these are $270 Canadian. They should have more features. This is Google. This is the company that does things right. And I'm sorry, Google, you did some things right on this, but there's too many things that are wrong. I hope they can be fixed with firmware, which is great. The firmware can be updated on them, but it is a little bit frustrating to see a company push something out that's not complete. I know not everybody, the problems that I have, that they'll have, they just stick two earphones in their head and they just go. And then when those two headphones are dead, they put it back in and they don't think anything about it. People use headphones. There's some people that actually care what their headphones do, the capabilities of their headphones. And I'm just one of those people. And I'm, again, returning these because if these were $200 with tax, we might be talking a little bit different here, but almost $300 for something that just doesn't satisfy and check off all the boxes. Google seems like they just wanted to check off the box to say, yes, we have wireless headphones. They use USB-C. Each one of them can be used independently, which I will give Google credit for. Not many companies care about the whole, I want to use one and let it drain and put the other one in and let that one use that one. A lot of companies expect you to be using both of them at the same time. Google and the Jaybird Vistas both check that box off, and I'm very happy with it. But I don't know. When it comes down to it, it's hard sitting with the $270 price tag when there's little things that annoy you. If they fix those firmware issues, I might change my opinion of them. Adding the feature to power off or let the user set the auto power off, that'd be a really great thing. The fact that when the battery is drained within the case, that when you put earbud back in, it would drain as well. But those are just little things that just drive me nuts. I'm a techno-lust. I love technology and I abuse my technology. So I know I'm not the standard case, but it is one of those things that it feels like I can't imagine it's a couple lines of code for an engineer to make these type of things happen. So again, it's just my 2 cents on the Pixel Buds. They do work. Hard to get used to the way they twist into the ear, but they are comfortable when they're in there. I do fall asleep with these in my ears. So that speaks to the volume of how comfortable they are. Sometimes you wouldn't be able to do that. My Jaybird Vistas are exactly the same way, but these ones fit a little bit better because they fit flush to the ear. So really nice case, really nice earbuds, but I am going to be returning them. And I hope you guys like my review on these. If you guys have any questions about them, I might have missed something in my review here. So please just let me know and I would be glad to answer them in the comments. And if you liked this video, just give it a thumbs up and just give some feedback. All right, thanks guys.